नमस्ते नरसिंहाय नमस्ते ISKCON BB founder Acharya Shri Prabhupada ki Jai Om Vishnu Pad Param Parikar Shiva Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj ki Jai Shri Haridas Thakur ki Jai Anant Koti Veshavind ki Jai Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nithiyananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shama Kund Radha Kund Girikund Dham ki Jai Vrindavan Dham ki Jai Mathura Dham ki Jai Jagannath Puri Dham ki Jai Navadvip Mayapur Dham ki Jai Ganga Mai ki Jai Yamuna Mai ki Jai Tulsi Devi ki Jai Bhakti Devi ki Jai Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki Jai Shri Shri Jagannath Baldeshwara Devi ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Kishore Gopinath ki Jai Nithiyananda Parasde ki Jai Nithiyananda Parasde ki Jai Nithiyananda Parasde ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Transcendental Book Distribution ki Jai All glory to somebody All glory to somebody All glory to somebody All glory to Shri Guru and Gauranga, Gurusha Prabhupada. Now everyone together. Namo Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale, Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinamne, Namaste Saraswati Deve, Gaurvani Vachane, Nirvashirsha Shunyavadi Pachachakti Tane Haribol.
Appearance Day. So before we start, we'll start off with a couple of thank yous. First and foremost, to the wonderful Pujari team. Do our deities not look so beautiful today? Yes? It shows some appreciation. And again, I'm hoping that everybody took the time to take the proper darshan of Shri Gaurani as they're decorated with such a beautiful flower outfit. And I know that there are many devotees that were involved in prepping that for today, so we'll thank them after the class. Today's festival, thank you, we'll start off with a class, and at 7:30 we'll continue on with a budget or meditative song towards Lord Nithiyananda for today, and that will start around 7:30. So, all right, and with that, I would like to welcome and thank His Grace Nithiyananda Prabhu, who will be leading us into a wonderful meditation on Lord Nithiyananda, his signal report card doesn't if anyone has it. And with that, let's give everybody a huge round of applause.
Shri Sri Bhakti Swami Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Pundaracharya Bhagavati Acharya Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nithiyananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Gaurikai Ki Jai. Radha Krishna Milit Tanu Viprala Vigra Shri Gaur Sundar Ki Jai. Shri Shri Nityananda Avirbhav Tithi Ki Jai. Shri Nityananda त्रयोदशी महामहोत्सव की जय. श्री श्री राधा क्षीर गोपीनाथ की जय. श्री जगन्नाथ श्री बलदेव श्रीमती सुभद्रा महारानी की जय. भक्ति विघ्न विनाशकारिणी सूर्यदेव की जय. प्रहलाद महाराज की जय. All glories to the assembly grace, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembly grace, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembly grace, Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shiva. Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Gauravani Nirvishesha Shivani Ashtam Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Om Jnana Yasya Janshakya Chakshurunilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Vandeham Shri Padakamalam Shri Guruna Vaishnavascha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dhinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopi Prakanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindaveshwari Vishwamanu Devi Pranamami Hariye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhubhyevcha Patitanam Pavebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Hare Krishna. So welcome to all of you. A very special program, very special day. The appearance day of Lord Nityananda. So we'll try to glorify Lord Nityananda by first talking about who he is, his tattva, so to speak, and then we'll talk about some of his pastimes as well. For anyone who may not know who Lord Nityananda is in terms of the deities, look at the far left. The personality on the left side of the two persons standing there is Lord Nityananda. The other is Lord Chaitanya. So who is Nityananda? There is a very famous bhajan by a very prominent acharya in our movement by the name of Narottam Das Thakur. He has written a bhajan, and one of the lines in that bhajan is Vrajendra Nandan Jai Shachi Sut Bhail Sai Balram Bhail Nitai, which means that personality who appeared in the age of Dwapar 5,000 years ago as the son of Nanda Maharaj has now again appeared in this age of Kali Yuga as Lord Chaitanya, and his brother Lord Balaram has appeared as Lord Nitai or Nityananda. So in short, he's known Nitai and full name is Nityananda. Nityananda basically means Nitya Ananda, one who is eternally happy and therefore is able to give eternal happiness to all who serve Him. And we'll talk about how to serve Lord. So as you know, Lord Balaram, who appeared as brother of Lord Krishna in Dwapar, is the first expansion of Lord Krishna. In that way, or in that sense, he is identical, non-different to Krishna. Same potencies, same everything. The only difference is the color of his skin. Krishna is blue, and Lord Balaram, as actually you can see Lord Balaram here on this side, the Gannath Baldev's Bhatta, Baldev is under the name of Lord Balaram, is milky white. Other than that, there's no difference. So, he is also Supreme Personality of Godhead, just like Krishna is. But, the mood that Lord Balaram carries is that of a servant of Krishna. So, Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Lord Balaram is the servitor or servant Supreme Personality of Godhead. Which is very interesting because we, the conditioned souls, have difficulty serving anybody because we feel we are the controllers, we are the masters, we are the best, we are number one. Why should we have to serve somebody? Unless some interest is served. But here is Supreme Personality of Godhead, non-different from the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, keeping that mood of servant. And I'll give you some idea of the extent to which Lord Balaram goes to serve Krishna, who he considers as his master. So Lord Balaram manifests the spiritual world, so Krishna can do his pastimes. He also manifests the material world, so he can do other pastimes. Lord Balaram expands himself as Lord Narayan, Sankarshan, Mahavishnu, Prabhadakshay Vishnu, Kshirodakshay Vishnu, all the incarnations like Lord Ramchandra and Nrsimhadev, they're all expansions of Lord Balaram. And he does that because Krishna wants to perform different pastimes under different circumstances to satisfy different needs of the time and the desires of his devotees. So Balaram is always helping him do that. And as if that is not enough, Balaram expands himself as Krishna's bed, Krishna's shoes, Krishna's umbrella, Krishna's pillow, Krishna's house, Krishna's paraphernalia, Krishna's ornaments. All those things are expansions of Balaram. All the paraphernalia that we use in Arati at the altar, they're all expansions of Lord Balaram. And that's why we treat them with so much respect. They're not just metal or wood or anything like that. They're expansions of Lord Balaram. And if that is not enough, Lord Balaram also expands himself as Anantashesh. That's the serpent with millions of hoods, and is carrying all the material universes on his hoods as if they were mustard seeds. And what he's doing is, all his millions of tongues is constantly glorifying Lord Krishna. He's been doing it since time immemorial, and he probably continue to do it for the rest of eternity. So that's his service. So when he comes as Nithiyananda, he brings the same mood of servant of Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya was not different from Lord Krishna. It's Krishna who has appeared, as I started by saying, as Lord Chaitanya. One of the things that good servants do is that they declare. They declare what Arjuna said, Karishye Vachanam Tava, which means I will follow all your instructions. It doesn't matter what it is. First of all, I will understand your mood,
So you don't have to tell me what to do. I already know what you want. But sometimes you may have to tell me and I will do what you want. No questions asked, no buts and ifs. And I'll give you one example of Arjuna following that. When Lord Krishna said to Arjuna during the battle of Mahabharata, kill your grandfather, Bhishma Pitama. Here was Bhishma Pitama who had raised Arjuna. Really loved him and Arjuna loved him. And he was standing there, he dropped all his weapons and said, I'm not going to fight. So there he is standing in front of Arjuna, I'm not going to fight, no weapons. And Krishna said, kill Bhishma, your grandfather. Krishna said, okay. And he did that. Didn't kill him right away, but injured him. And that's the extent to which good service goes. It doesn't matter what the order is. If the master says, I shall do. So similarly, Lord Nithiyananda brought the same mood. He said, first of all, I know what my master wants, which is, what is the mission of my master, Lord Chaitanya? And that mission is to spread the glories of the holy name of Lord Krishna. That's what he wants, so I should do that. Which is very interesting. Sorry, the method that he used is very interesting. Just to give again a feel for where I'm going. Lord Krishna put a condition for giving his mercy to people. He said, Sarvdhamana paritijya mam ekam sharanam aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shruti. He said, surrender to me. Give up all the varieties of religion. Surrender to me, I'll take care of it. So that was his condition. When he came as Lord Chaitanya, he realized that in the age of Kali, people do not want to surrender to Supreme Personality of God. They're too proud, too ignorant, too puffed up, or whatever term you want to use. They do not want to surrender. Because they want to be the master, they want to be the controller, they want to be the enjoyers. It's all about me, me, me. Very hard to surrender. It's all about us. So Lord Chaitanya said, that's okay. I will remove that condition. And I shall give my mercy and the ultimate goal of life, everybody's life, which is Krishna Prema, the love of Krishna, to anyone who comes to me. All you have to do is come to me. And standing there like this. Just come to me, I will give you the ultimate goal of life, which is the love of Krishna. But you know, a lot of people don't even want to do that. They don't want to do that. They say, why should I come to you? You come to me. So Lord Chaitanya said to Nithiyananda, you go. You go to all these people who don't want to come to me. And you give them the holy name. You ask them to chant the holy name. Lord Nithiyananda said, okay. He and another devotee, Haridas Thakur, who is also known as Namacharya, he started going door to door to door to door to door, house to house to house to house. And wherever they went, they told the occupants to please chant Krishna's name. Bolo Krishna, Bhajo Krishna, Kauro Krishna Sakshi. He said, please take Krishna's name. Please follow Krishna's instructions. Please chant Krishna's name. A lot of people did not react well to that. And they started to blaspheme. Some will push him out of the door, out of their house. Some will yell at him. Some will throw hurl insults at him. They will say, actually you belong to a gang of robbers. Come here to basically scout our house to see where things are, and you'll come back at night to rob us. So get out. Some will say, you're an agent of the government who's Muslim. And once we start chanting loud, we'll go report to them and they'll arrest us. So get out. Some basically said, we don't like you, just get up. And on and on and on. And still, he would continue to plead with them. If they still didn't listen, he'd actually fall down and offer them obeisances. Dandavat, which is like falling flat like a rod, prostrate obeisances. I said, no, please, just once take Krishna's name. So here is Lord Balaram, who, when he was on this earth as Balaram, killed the demons. He did not tolerate any nonsense. He killed Pralambasur, he killed Dhenukasur, got angry at the Kauravas, and basically he was going to drag the entire city of Hastinapur into river Yamuna. I mean, he had anger. But as Nitai, he tolerated all this. So as Balaram, he killed the demons. As Nithiyananda, he begged the demons. He just please chant the holy name of God. Why? Because that's what his master wanted. And actually, it gets even more serious than that. And I'm jumping a little bit, but later on, after Lord Chaitanya had taken sannyas and had moved to Jagannath Puri, he said, Nithiyananda, took him to the corner actually, and I had a very confidential conversation. I said, Nithiyananda, there are many places I cannot go because I'm a sannyasi. I cannot go to the house of the materialistic people. I cannot go to brothels. I cannot go to liquor bars. I cannot go to the places of gambling. But you can. You are an avadhuta. There's no restriction on you. You don't have to follow any social customs. Go anywhere. So go to those places where I cannot go and you preach to those people. Give them the holy name of Krishna. And he said, by the way, go and get married. Now imagine, and I was saying this morning's class, that those of us who have grown-up children in their late 20s, early 30s, we tell them to get married and they get very angry. What do you mean? What's the rush? Very difficult to convince young people to get married. So imagine somebody who is an avadhuta, which means no care in the world, does whatever he wants, used to his own freedom, not following any conventions, any rules. You're telling him to get married? I said, okay. If that's what you want, I'll go get married. So he got married. I won't have time to get into the story of his marriage, but he got married to two wonderful people, Mother Januva and Mother Vasudha, who by the way were wives of Lord Balaram also, Mother Devati and Mother Guru. So, I mean, that's the degree to which he will follow his master's instructions. And then he will go and preach to all these places, which Lord Chaitanya was not comfortable going to. Another point about him following the instructions, or actually in this case, waiting for the instructions. So Lord Nityananda actually appeared before Lord Chaitanya. And I'm just going to tell you a little bit about his childhood. He was born in a place called ISKCON, which is in Bengal. Normally, when the Lord appears, and actually most of Lord's devotees, they always appear near a holy river. Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati, Narmada, Kaveri, all these holy rivers, they appear near them. Because what happens is that, and the devotees and the sages live near those rivers as well. And as we go further away from these rivers, the quality of devotion starts to go down, and ultimately just a lot of demons living in places that are far away from these holy rivers. But Lord Chaitanya appeared in this chakra, which was at least, a few hundred kilometers away from the nearest holy river, which was Ganga. So again, his mood was, I'll go and deliver the fallen people of this world, because that's what my master wants. So he appeared there, two wonderful people, devotees, Harai Pandit and Padmavati. They were just totally in love with their child. Just normal, it's nothing unusual about parents being in love with their child. But obviously now Nithiyananda was a very special child. So that love was even greater. And no matter where Harai Pandit went, he would take Lord Nithiyananda with him. They went shopping or visiting people's houses or wherever. He took him with him because he could not tolerate being away from Nithiyananda even for a few minutes. So when Nithiyananda was 12 years old, a sannyasi came to visit that village. And Harai Pandit invited him for prasadam. So he came, had prasadam, and he invited him to stay the night at his place. And he did. In the morning, as the sannyasi was leaving, Harai Pandit offered his obeisances. And with great degree of benevolence and love for the sannyasi, he said, please ask me for anything. I will give it to you. And the sannyasi said, you know, I'm glad you asked. Because I'm a sannyasi, I'm traveling from place to place to place. But I need a servant. And I have no one. So why don't you tell your son, give your son to come with me as I travel across India. When Harai Pandit heard that, understood the implication of this request, he nearly died right on the spot. He tried to smile, went back in the house, talked to his wife, Mother Padmavati, and asked what to do. She was a very submissive wife. She said, well, whatever you like is fine with me. So Harai Pandit went back and said, yes, you can take my son with you. So sannyasi, Lord Nithiyananda left. Harai Pandit basically started crying and fainting and taking Lord Nithiyananda's name all the time. And only after a few weeks, he gave up his body because he could not tolerate the separation from his son. And then a few weeks after that, maybe a few months, Mother Padmavati also left her body because she could not tolerate separation from her son and her husband. For 20 years, Lord Nithiyananda wandered around India with this sannyasi. All this time, he had this urge to start preaching, to start giving people the holy name of Krishna. But he said, no, I cannot do that yet, because I do not have a signal for my master to start doing that. It's his mission, he has to start. So he went to a lot of places. He went to Tirupati, he went to Sri Rangam, he went to Kashi, he went to even Badrikashram, where he met Vyasdev. Vyasdev recognized him, welcomed him, and they had a nice conversation about Krishna. And he continued to travel, and finally he came to Vrindavan. Before he came to Vrindavan, he went to Bengal, and he met a very famous personality, Madhavendra Puri. Madhavendra Puri is the spiritual master of the spiritual master of Lord Chaitanya. He is also the person famous for whom Lord Gopinath stole a bowl of kheer, sweet rice, and got his name Kheer Chora Gopinath. It's in a place called Ramuna. Our city of Toronto, temple in Toronto, is known as New Ramuna. And our deities are Radha Kheer Chora Gopinath. Same pastime being remembered here. Anyway, so Lord Nithiyananda met Madhavendra Puri. The Lord recognized his pure devotee, and the pure devotee recognized the Lord. And they ran towards each other, and they embraced, and they cried. Then they laughed, and they fell unconscious. They got up, they cried more, they laughed more, they got unconscious again. It went on. And then finally they settled down, and for days and days and days, they did Krishna Katha. Madhavendra Puri said, I have never ever tasted so much nectar from discussing and hearing about Lord Krishna. Lord Nithiyananda said, I've traveled across this whole country. I've met many sages, I've met many devotees, I've met many people. Never ever have I enjoyed speaking to a person as I am enjoying with you. After that, Lord Nityananda left and went to Vrindavan and waited for a signal from Lord Chaitanya. Many years. Finally, he heard that Lord Chaitanya went to Gaya. He got initiated and he came back and started a Sankirtan movement in Navadvip. So then he traveled to Navadvip. And he went to a devotee's house whose name is Nandanacharya. He got there at night, he was resting there. In the morning, Lord Chaitanya came out of the temple, a temple. He had his meeting with the devotees and he said, "My dear devotees, last night I had a dream. In my dream I saw a wonderful personality, very effulgent, very tall, sitting on a gold chariot with a palm tree flag, which by the way is the flag for the chariot of Lord Balaram himself. And he was asking for me. So from that dream I surmised that some great personality has arrived. So please go look for him." So devotees left and they started looking all over Navadvip for somebody special. They could not find anybody. They came back and they told Lord Chaitanya, "We didn't find anybody." Lord Chaitanya said, "Okay, I have to go and look, so you come with me." So he went and very soon he was at the house of Nandanacharya. Lord Nityananda saw Lord Chaitanya from the window and he got into ecstasy right away. When Lord Chaitanya entered the house, same thing as with Madhura Puri happened. They rushed towards each other, they embraced, they started crying. Lord Nityananda fainted and everybody said, "What has happened? Looks like he gave up his life." Lord Chaitanya said, No. This is one of the ecstatic symbols. And he told one of his associates, Shivasacharya, to chant a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, which says, that cowherd boy taking care of the cows, whose complexion is like a sky, who looks like a sky, is going back to Vrindavan from the forest. As soon as Lord Nityananda heard that verse, he got up and started crying again. And he started dancing. Dancing in a way that no one had ever seen before. He was jumping up and down, whirling, very high speed. And because he's so effulgent, it looked like one of those chakris that you have seen firework. You know, this goes zoom, zoom like that, and sparks flying all over. And everybody was amazed. And then finally, Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda started embracing each other again. And after a long, long time, they settled down. And they started chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And that was the day that the Sankirtan movement was born, with the help of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. So Lord Nityananda is very merciful. As we said, Lord Krishna says, surrender to me, then get my mercy. Lord Chaitanya says, just come to me. Lord Nityananda says, if you don't want to come to me, that's okay, I'll come to you. So he will come to us. So in that sense, he's being an example of how to serve the Lord, how to follow, obey all the instructions of the Lord. And in that sense, he is the spiritual master, an acharya. He is actually the original spiritual master. All the spiritual masters represent Lord Balaram. And just like Lord Nityananda obeys all the instructions of his master, it is our duty to obey the instructions of our spiritual master, our Lord. And it is very easy to get the mercy of Lord Nityananda. What do we have to do? Is simply dedicate our mind, our body, our words in chanting the name of the Lord and follow the four regulative principles. That's all he's asking. Most of us, if not all of us, are already doing all that. Just what's missing is the feeling in the heart. We develop that, we receive Lord Nityananda's mercy just like that. Actually, one other thing that Krishna is asking, Lord Nityananda is asking, is that you have the faith. The faith in Guru, faith in the scriptures, faith in the Lord. With that faith, we follow these things about 4 regulative principles, dedicating our mind, body, and speech, in chanting the holy name of the Lord, we receive Nityananda's mercy. And let me tell you one other thing. Narottam Das Thakur that I was talking about before has also said, Heno Nitai Bina Bhai, Radha Krishna Paitena. He says, unless we receive the mercy of Lord Nityananda, we cannot get Krishna prema. We cannot get mercy of Krishna. So it's a prerequisite. Fortunately, that prerequisite is very easily satisfied. We follow those rules. Can somebody tell me how much time I have? Just 20 minutes. Half hour? Oh, great. Sorry? 22 minutes and a half. Okay. So before I get into a little more philosophy, I want to talk about some of his pastimes. After Lord Nityananda arrived in Navadvip, Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda became very close, which is not surprising. They were spending all the time together. Often, Lord Chaitanya will invite Lord Nityananda to his house, and his mother Sachimata would treat him as his son also. So she said, I have 2 sons now, Nitai and Nimai. Nimai is the name of Lord Chaitanya, Nitai is short form for Nityananda. One day, she told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Chaitanya, I had a dream. In my dream I saw that you and Nitai, Nimai and Nitai, Lord Chaitanya, have entered the altar and you're pulling down my deities of Krishna and Balaram, whom she was serving. And they are pulling you back. And there's a tussle going on. You are pulling on Krishna, and Krishna is pulling on you. Nityananda is pulling on Balaram, he is pulling on him. And Nityananda is shouting, he's saying to Balaram, get out of here. Balaram is saying, no, you get out. This is my altar. We belong here. And Nityananda is saying, no, that was 5,000 years ago. We belong here. That's gone. That whole era of Dwapar is gone. This is Kali Yuga. Now is the time for my master Chaitanya, Lord Chaitanya. So you guys get out. We will sit here. And they're trying to sit on the altar. And this is going on for a while. Finally, they start laughing. But they did sit on the altar. So what does this mean? So Lord Chaitanya started laughing. And he said, it's just a dream, don't worry about it. But I really wonder, maybe they are eating the bhoga that you're offering them, because they can fight, they can also eat. But I just want to tell you that all this time I was thinking that your daughter-in-law, his wife, was eating half the bhoga. And that's why it wasn't there, but it looks like they were actually eating it. Sometime later, Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya had been invited for prasadam at the house of Sachimata. And they were sitting there honoring prasadam. And she went inside the kitchen to bring more prasadam. And she put lots of stuff in a very large plate. And she came out of the kitchen to where they were sitting. And she noticed that they are gone. Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya are gone, and in their place, 2 little boys, 5-year-old boys are sitting. One blue in color, one white in color. And they enjoyed prasadam. And she said, she just became totally stunned. She said, what's going on? Where did my children go? And who are these children? And then she recognized them as Krishna and Balaram. And then as she was looking at them, they changed back to Nityananda and Chaitanya. She was so stunned, she dropped the plate, she fainted. And the Lord Chaitanya went and he sprinkled some water on her, and then very innocently asked, "Mother, what happened? Did you see something unusual?" And she said, "Don't ask me." There's another pastime. This is not in a particular sequence. So one time, Lord Chaitanya was visiting some city and a particular devotee. And in that city, there were a very prominent group of robbers. They saw, or they noticed, that Lord Nithiyananda is wearing lots of very expensive ornaments. All sorts of things, literally like very, very expensive. So they said, "Hey, those ornaments belong to us, not to this guy. He's an Avadhuta. What's he doing wearing all these ornaments?" So they made a plan, they got the group together, and they were worshippers of Mother Kali. See, most robbers are for some reason. And so they went and worshipped Mother Kali, and they made the plan to go the next night to rob him as he was visiting this devotee. So they went outside the house, and they waited for the nightfall, and noticed that the lights are on in the house. As in those there were lanterns, not electric lights. And this devotee is sitting there talking. So they waited and waited and waited and waited and waited. By Lord Nityananda's mercy or his magic, they all fell asleep. So they spent the night sleeping outside. In the morning, as they heard the roosters crow and the birds chirp and all that, they woke up. And they said, "What happened?" We fell asleep. And they started fighting with each other, blaming each other. "Oh, you fell asleep first. No, you fell asleep first. No, you should have woken me up." Anyway, they ran back and said, "Oh, Mother Kali saved her life, otherwise we would have been caught." So it's okay, we have to make plan another day. So they waited for another night. They went and worshipped Mother Kali again. Waited outside. But when they got there, they noticed that lots of soldiers, big, huge soldiers, with equivalent of whatever the big machine guns are today, AK-47s are nothing. And all these weapons and very huge in size, they're wandering around, making circles around the house, patrolling it. They said, "Well, we can't fight with these guys. We'll have to come another day." So they left again. Went back to the temple next day, offered their services one more time, and got ready to come back next night. So night came, day came. This time there were no soldiers. And they said, "Perfect. Maybe there was somebody visiting last night, saw these soldiers with him. Today, Nityananda is alone with just some other devotees. We can overpower them, no problem. Just wait for the night." As they were waiting, suddenly the rain started. And no ordinary rain. Like you talk about hailstorm, hail's the size of bigger than tennis balls. And they were hitting them, left and right. They were getting injured. And suddenly from somewhere, all these wasps appeared. They started stinging them. And it became so bad they became blind and they were running here and there. And suddenly all these poison ivy bushes appeared. And they were running into them, they were falling into them, scratching their bodies in bad shape. And they ran away from them. After 3 nights of experience, finally, the leader of the robbers got his senses and said, "No, wait a minute. This person must be some very great personality. And we were wrong." So next night, he went there alone, went inside the house. It's funny how much courage you get when you surrender. Before, when their intention was to rob, they would not dare near the house. But now he entered the house, and he saw that Nityananda sitting there, speaking Krishna Katha with other devotees, and he fell flat, offered his obeisances, and confessed the whole thing. "I'm the leader of this gang, and this is what I was planning to do. I was not successful, but now I realize who I am." So Nityananda gave him an embrace. By that embrace, gave him the love of Krishna. So even a robber gets love of Krishna by the mercy of Lord Nityananda. Actually, Lord Nityananda's mission was simply to deliver the fallen. Nithiyananda Thakur also says, Patita Pavana Hetu Tava Avatar Mosam Patita Prabhu Na Paibya. Which means that my dear Lord, is praying Lord Chaitanya, but is also applying to Nithiyananda, that you are appearing this time simply to deliver the most fallen. There is nobody more fallen than me. So therefore, I have a right, simply by being the most fallen, I have the right to receive your mercy. So please, give your mercy. In another bhajan, Nithiyananda Thakur also says that if you don't give me your bhajan, this is the right that a pure devotee can assume, that I have my right over my Lord. It's like sometimes children feel they have a right on their parents, and it's coming from a position of love. So pure devotees the same way. They said, Nithiyananda Thakur is saying, if you don't give me mercy, then your name will not be what it is today. So therefore, just because I'm saying I'm the most fallen, please prove your name of Patita Pavana. Patita Pavana means the deliverer of the fallen. So therefore, give me your mercy. We are actually in the worst boat. We are really fallen. And I was just quoting Radha Swami this morning. He said, those of us who do not think we are fallen are really fallen. So let us all understand that given our conditioned nature, given our tendency to be the controller, given our tendency to be the enjoyer, given our tendency to cheat, do all those kind of things, let us accept one fact that we are most fallen. When we can accept that and admit to ourselves we really are the most fallen, we will become eligible for the mercy of God eternal. Then all we have to do is chant Krishna's name. When Lord Nithiyananda was going to all these people, asking them to chant Krishna's name, he also realized something. He realized that for some people, it's very difficult to get the mercy of Lord Krishna. Krishna's mercy is difficult to get anyway, but for some people it's even more difficult. These are the people who are materialistic people, too much attached to their opulence, maybe their high lineage, maybe their high education, maybe their position, maybe their fame, whatever. As Mother Kunti says, Janma Shashut Shivi, Edman Madhapaman. She said that those people who are proud of their lineage, their education, their opulence, etc., they have no feelings for Krishna, and therefore Krishna is not visible to them. So same thing, those who are too much attached to their material things, their achievements, they find it very difficult to get mercy from Krishna. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Bhogashva prasaktana taya aparat chetsa vyavasayatmaka buddhi samadhana buddhi. Those who are too much attached to their opulences, too attached to their enjoyment, find it very difficult to become devotees and therefore do not receive mercy of Krishna. So he said, and then impersonal is another category of people, Mayavadis. They do not get Krishna's mercy. So he realized that, but he says, I don't want to leave them alone either. They deserve mercy also. So then he said, I know I cannot get the mercy of Radha and Krishna directly. But Lord Chaitanya, Gauranga, is non-different from Radha and Krishna. He's actually the combined form of Krishna and Radha. And he's very merciful. He doesn't put all those conditions. He will allow the love of Krishna to anyone. So therefore, with these people, he changed his tune a little bit. Instead of saying, Bhajo Krishna, Karo Krishna Shiksha, he started saying, Bhaja Gauranga, Kaha Gauranga Naam, Jai Jana Gauranga Bhaja, Sei Amar Pran. He said, please chant the name of the Lord Gauranga. Anybody who chants the name of Gauranga becomes my life and soul. So he's giving himself up to the people who will chant Gauranga's name. So how many of you want to become life and soul of Lord Nithiyananda? Please raise your hands. Almost everybody. If that's the case, all we have to do is say, Ha Gauranga! Said this with feelings in your heart, you become life and soul of Lord Nithiyananda. I declare it. Because Lord Nithiyananda declared it. Not my authority, his authority. And so he started to preach to the people to chant Gauranga's name. Lord Chaitanya is not different from Krishna, of course, but it's different in one other way from Krishna. And that is, he does not take offenses. We offend Krishna a lot of times, if not all the time. But Lord Chaitanya says, you can't offend me, I just forgive everything. Just chant Krishna's name. And Nithiyananda is saying, yes, but chant Gauranga's name, is safer. So therefore, we should understand that in the age of Kali, it is actually safer to worship, especially when we talk about altar worship. Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nithiyananda, it saves us from a lot of offenses. With Krishna and Radha, I'm not saying don't worship Radha and Krishna, we do this all the time. But we have to be very careful. There are many offenses that we are capable of committing that we have to be careful about. Srila Prabhupada once said, worshipping Radha Krishna can be like a two-edged sword. You can cut yourself very easily. So we have to be very careful. But with Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nithiyananda, can take lots of liberties. They are very merciful, very forgiving. They don't take offenses easily. So I'll move on to a couple more pastimes. When Lord Chaitanya was spreading the holy name in Navadvip, he realized that a lot of people are blaspheming him. Especially the Smarta Brahmins who are saying, oh, this is against the established religious principles to chant the Lord's name loudly. They're making all sorts of stories about Lord Chaitanya, even to the degree of saying that they locked themselves up in the house of Shivasa, and they drink liquor, they eat meat, they invite women, all sorts of nonsense was being said. And out of his mercy, he said, you know, these people are blaspheming me and getting the offenses. I don't want that. And he said, if I become a sannyasi, then people have respect for sannyasis, they will not blaspheme. And that was one of the main stated reasons, external reasons, for him to take sannyas. So after he took sannyas, he said, I'm going to Vrindavan. Now here's the servitorship coming. A servant knows what my master really wants, even though sometimes he may say something different. So here is Lord Chaitanya saying, I want to go to Vrindavan. Here's Nithiyananda, the pure servant of Chaitanya, Lord Chaitanya, saying, I don't think that's what he really wants. He knows that his devotees are going to suffer a lot. His mother is going to suffer a lot. He would not like that. So he actually tricks Lord Chaitanya. How? When Lord Chaitanya said to Lord Nithiyananda, I want to go to Vrindavan. He said, of course, let's go. And he He started walking and then he ran a little distance away, and maybe a mile or 2 miles, he doesn't say exactly how far. And he saw some cowherd boys. He went to them, said, you know, very soon a sannyasi is going to come. He will ask you which way is Vrindavan. You point him towards Ganges, the Ganges. He said, okay. They thought it was a game. Then he went back to Lord Chaitanya and started doing Krishna Katha. So Lord Chaitanya is in ecstasy, he doesn't know where he's going. Whichever way Lord Chaitanya is leading him, he's walking. And finally he sees these boys. So he asked them, hey, which way is Vrindavan? They had been trained already. He said, here, that way. Where Ganges is. In the meantime, Lord Nithiyananda also sent a devotee to a place called Shantipur. Shantipur is where Lord Advaita lived. And also sent a message that go to Navadvip and invite Mother Lord Chaitanya, Sachi Mata, and other devotees. They all gathered in the house of Advaita Acharya. Advaita Acharya came to the Ganges river on the other side, took a boat, came on this side. About the same time as Lord Chaitanya arrived at the bank of the river. And he saw Advaita Acharya. In the meantime, Nithiyananda is telling Lord Chaitanya, we are in Vrindavan. Here is Yamuna, showing Ganga. So far, Lord Chaitanya is fine. He's believing everything Nithiyananda is saying. He's in ecstasy anyway. He has no external consciousness. He's fine. But now he says, Advaita Acharya. He says, Advaita Acharya, how come you are here? He says, I'm here to receive you. He said, okay, but I thought I was in Vrindavan. And he looks at Nithiyananda and says, you lied to me? And Nithiyananda says, I will never lie to you. And Advaita Acharya supports him. He says, my dear Lord, at Prayag, which is the Sangam, the meeting of Ganga and Yamuna, on the east side is Yamuna, west side is Ganga. And he said, we are east of Sangam, therefore this is Yamuna. And, my dear Lord, wherever you are, is Vrindavan. Therefore, this is Vrindavan. So please, come see. And they put him on the board. They went there and they met Sachi Mata, who was just crying like anything, seeing the beautiful hair of Lord Chaitanya being shorn off, like shaved off completely. So she was crying, but finally she settled down. And Lord Chaitanya said, okay, enough fun, now I'm going to keep it down. And this time, Nithiyananda, I'm not taking you. And so Mother Sachi Mata begged him to please not go that far. First she was telling him to stay in Navadvip. He said, no, I cannot do that. She said, okay, at least don't go any further than Jagannathpur. So Lord Chaitanya went and spent 18 years in Jagannathpuri, 12 of which he spent traveling across the country and 6 in Jagannathpur himself. I don't want to exceed my time, so I keep going until somebody tells me to stop. The most famous, next time? Okay, then I will stop. And that's right. Oh, I can go? Okay, all right. So, one more pastime, so people are not totally bored. Very famous, sometimes we talk about famous devotee couple. But I'm talking about famous dacoit couple, robbers. Their names were Jadai and Madhan. Actually, Jagadanand and Madhavanand. They were born in a Brahmin family, very pious Brahmin family. But due to bad association, they became really bad. They were into drinking, into killing, into eating meat, and all the 4 regulated principles you can imagine, breaking. And they were committing sins all the time. There's a personality by the name of Chitragupta who keeps tabs on all the activities that we perform in the material world. And he's got his agents who are writing down everything in their file. And he said that their sins are so many that my agents get tired of writing down the details of the sins. And we got files after files after files after file of these people's sins, so much that we don't have any more filing cabinet. But at the bottom of the spit, we keep throwing the files, and there they keep filling them up. The Kavi is faster than our people can write. So it's that kind of people we're talking about. So as per Lord Chaitanya's instructions, Lord Nithiyananda and Haridas Thakur, who was very old by the way at that time, they were going door to door, telling people to chant Krishna's name, and they saw these two people. They were very huge, very strongly built people, drunk out of their mind, and they were harassing people. There was a crowd of people standing there, and these two started walking towards them. So Haridas Thakur and Lord Nithiyananda were walking towards Janai Vadai. People are stopping them. Hey, don't go there, it's dangerous, not good for your health, don't go there. But then in their own ecstasy, they go there, they go near Janai Vadai, and they tell them to chant Hare Krishna. When they hear that, they get very angry. They run towards them to hit them. So for fear of their life, Lord Nithiyananda and Haridas Thakur are running, being chased by these two people in Janai Vadai. As they're running, Haridas Thakur is joking, kind of mock anger, joking with Lord Nithiyananda. Look, you're such an avdhuta. Got me in trouble. I'm an old man. I've run from these people for my life. You know, those people were saying, don't go there, but you won't listen. You know, so they were just joking with each other. Finally, because these people were so delayed, but they were so drunk and so fat, they got tired from running. And they stopped. And these two people, Haridas Thakur and Lord Nithiyananda, went to Lord Chaitanya and explained to him what had happened. And Lord Chaitanya said, that's okay, no worries. A few days later, they were going again door to door, telling people to chant Krishna's name, and they saw the guy in Madhaili. So they went back. They went to them. I said, my dear, sir, please chant Krishna's name. Madhai, one of the two brothers, was drinking liquor from a big pot. In Hindi they call it ghada, big ghada, big pot. So he took that pot and hit Lord Nithiyananda on his forehead, very hard. Forehead burst, started bleeding. But Lord Nithiyananda was not his external conscious. So he kept saying, don't worry, just chant Krishna's name, don't worry, just chant Krishna's name. That made Madhai even more mad. So he picked up the same pot and was going to hit Lord Nithiyananda one more time. His brother, Jagai, stopped him. He said, don't do that, this is a very nice person. He hasn't done anything harmful to you, why are you hitting him? Stopped him. In the meantime, some devotees ran to the house where Lord Chaitanya was staying and told him the whole story. Well, the Lord can tolerate a lot of blasphemy, lots of insults and injuries, but He will not tolerate anyone injuring or blaspheming His pure devotee. So that same Lord Chaitanya, who is so merciful, that instead of killing the demons, He was giving them love of Krishna. Same Lord Chaitanya was going to tolerate anything and everything. He said, I'm not going to tolerate this. He came to where Lord Nithiyananda was standing with blood oozing out. He saw him. He said, Chakra, Chakra, Chakra. Called his Sudarshan Chakra. And there it was. Instantly. And he was ready to hurl it at Madhai. Lord Nithiyananda fell at the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya and begged him, please not do that. He said, my dear Lord, not this time. Not this appearance. This time your mission is to not kill them. Not kill the demons, but kill their demoniac mentality. Give them Krishna Prema. So please, I'm not hurting at all. You can see the blood, but it's not hurting at all. I'm fine. So please forgive them. And then especially this Jagai, he actually saved my life. He stopped Madhai from hitting me again. So he really deserves your mercy. When Lord Chaitanya heard that, he told the Sudarshan Chakra to disappear and he embraced Jagai. As soon as he embraced Jagai, all the ecstatic symptoms appeared on the body of Jagai. He started shivering, his body trembling, his hair standing on end. And he started chanting, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. When I saw that my brother, who has done all these sinful activities along with me, has received the mercy of the Lord, his heart changed also. And he fell at the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya. That please forgive me, please give me the same mercy they had given to my brother. Lord Chaitanya said, not me. You have to go and apologize to my brother, Lord Nithiyananda. Immediately when I got up and fell at the lotus feet of Lord Nithiyananda, begged for forgiveness. Which of course, Lord Nithiyananda did immediately. From that point on, the guy in Vadai became pure devotees. And they said to Lord Nithiyananda, but how do I atone for all my sins? All the offenses I've committed against so many people. There's no limit to our sins, so what do we do? Lord Nithiyananda said, you go build a ghat. A ghat is like a bank of a river. You have steps, you can do your worship, etc., and do your bathing. He built that, and that ghat bank is still there. The guy Madhya. And everyone who comes there to bathe in the Ganges, you offer them obeisances and you apologize. From that day on, for days on, they continue to do that, apologizing to everybody, giving them gifts and offering their apologies. When Lord Chaitanya heard that, he called them and he said, I'm going to take over all your sinful reactions. As soon as he said that, his body turned from a golden complexion to black. All those sins, the sinful reactions, came to his body and turned his body color to black. People were amazed. Now what do we do? That's just simply chant. So all night there was ecstatic kirtan in that place. With all the mridangas and the kartals and all the other musical instruments, these wonderful singers, wonderful dances, wonderful sankirtan happening. By the time it was morning, Lord Chaitanya's complexion came back to his original complexion, golden. And somebody said, so where did those sins go? Where did they go? And Lord Chaitanya said, they went to the people who refused to chant Krishna's name ever. So they got all those sins. And actually that reminds me, it's totally not related to this. But Srila Prabhupada once said, everyone should clap when you chant. Because when you chant, the sins fly away. So somebody had a sense of humor and said to Srila Prabhupada, when the sins fly away, where do they land? So Srila Prabhupada smiled and said, they land on the people who don't clap when they're chanting. So Srila Prabhupada said, next time make sure you're clapping when you're chanting, otherwise undesirables can fly out to you. Anyway, so I'm going to stop here and open it, depending on how much time I have. I have? I'm done? Oh, okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
We apologize for that abrupt end, but again, thank you so much to everybody for leading us into a wonderful class. We can give another round of applause. We're so technical now with our announcements, we have them on our cell phones, so I apologize. Again, as I mentioned earlier, we do have a slew of thank yous for tonight's festival. Again, you can tell that there was a lot of effort put into it. First and foremost, our wonderful festival team that put together the wonderful decorations and all the arrangements for today, so a huge thank you to all of them. And of course, the dating doors are closed for now, but as you may have noticed before, I to a production around 6 o'clock. The devotees are dressed, or I should say, Shri Gauranitai are dressed in a beautiful flower outfit. So a huge thank you to all the devotees that were involved with that, as well as our Pujari team. And I would also like to note that the dress that Kircha Gopinath, Shri Radha Kircha Gopinath, and Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Parani are all wearing new outfits today. So we want to thank the sponsors for that as well. So a huge thank you for them. And sorry, I should also mention, today's feast and flower sponsorship is done by Jagannath Mission Prabhu and family in memory of, thank you. In memory of Dr. Hari Kishan Kaul, who passed away recently. As some of us may know, he was part of our community for many years. So a huge thank you for Jagannath Mission Prabhu and family. And we actually have a member of Hari Kishan Kaul's family, and we would like to present them a gift. So if someone from that family would like to come up forward, we'd like to present them a small token for today. Anyone here? Oh yes, please come on down. Thank you once again. Last but not least, we'd also like to thank our cooks for today, and that was Sadhana Bhakti Mataji, Radhika Prabhu, and the whole entire crew. So a huge thank you to them as well. So as mentioned before, we'll be first leading with a bhajan, which is the bhajan Nitai Kunamani, composed by Locha Das Thakur, which will lead us right into the 8 o'clock arti, and at which time the arti will happen, and at 8:30 we'll be serving the vegetarian feast, prashadam, in the back of the temple room. We'd like to remind everyone again that, I have a jumping devotee over here. We'd like to mention that Govinda's dining hall, the restaurant just down the hallway, is open for service today. So we ask if everyone can kindly have their prashadam or the vegetarian feast in the temple room. And with that, we're going to start off the bhajan. We have lyrics here that will be up here so everyone can follow along. And we hope you've enjoyed today's festival. Hare Krishna.
My Lord Nithiyananda, the jewel of all virtues, my Lord Nithiyananda, the jewel of all virtues, has brought the flood of ecstatic love of God that has drowned the entire world. Number 2, bringing this overwhelming deluge of prema when he returned to Bengal from Jagannath Puri on Lord Chaitanya's order, Nitai has inundated the assembly of devotees. The fallen non-devotees did not drown, however, but remained floating on the ecstatic ocean. Lord Nithiyananda freely offered this exalted prema, which is difficult for Lord Brahma to attain, even to the fallen and the wretched souls who did not desire it. The ocean of mercy had formerly been sea tight, but Nitai cut a channel in its boundary to allow the great flooding waves of nectarian prema to splash from house to house. Lochandas says, whoever has not worshipped my Nitai or taken advantage of this excellent opportunity offered by him knowingly commits suicide. So thank you. We'll get started with the bhajan. Hare Krishna.
Hare
जय ओम विष्णु परम भक्ति वेदांता प्रभुपाद की ISKCON BBT Fondaचार्य श्री प्रभुपाद की जय ओम विष्णु भक्ति वेदांता सरस्वती महाराज की नंदा ठाकुर की जगन्नाथ परिधान की जय, नबीमाया प्रधान की जय, गंगा माई की जय, गंगा माई की जय, तुलसी देवी की जय, तुलसी देवी की जय, श्री श्री गौर जय की जय, श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव देवी की जय, श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ की जय, श्री नित्यानंद पेरेंट्स की, श्री नित्यानंद पेरेंट्स की, नित्यानंद पेरेंट्स की। All glories to Summer devotees. All glories to Summer devotees. All glories to Summer devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Guru Prabhupada. Everybody together now. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Utare Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namne Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Padane Nirvachesha Shamyamati Padaya